Skittles one of all the cases.
It was the
on
first
there.
one, I'm telling you.
Yeah, God forbid.
We are officially live. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed your Saturday. I certainly did. We had a good college football Saturday. Holy shit, was that needed? My top bets went 5-1. I think I'd finished I didn't even add it up, but I think I finished about plus 3.8 units. So great Saturday for me. Toast, how was your college basketball day yesterday? I didn't even look.
6-2, so we're on like a 13-4 run.
Yeah, I thought someone would say in the Discord you had a good day as well. 13-4 run. Okay, so the only person that's not hot is Prop Beaver, coming off a disgusting Sunday last week, but I had a bad Sunday too. But I have since emerged from my slump. He is still in it. All right, so we got 12 games to go through. Let's run the intro and get it started.
Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
All right, first up, AFC South, Titans at Jags. I just realized that I didn't put my context in and put a hat on. I wasn't even thinking about it. Well, people were in the comments, didn't even notice. Anyway, so Titans at Jags is first. As you guys know, I'm leaning towards the Titans. Well, not leaning. I already bet it. I got it at 7. Let's get the poll running. Can I get a weather report?
79 and clear.
79 and clear. Prop Beaver, we're at 6.5 now, right?
Yup, you could catch a 7 on DraftKings and PointsBet if you like, and the consensus totals at 39.5.
39.5. 39.5. Poll is running. Prop Beaver, what are you doing in this one?
Yeah, so I made a little SGP for this one, minus 115. I went with Will Levis, 175 plus passing yards, and Tyjae Spears, 3 plus receptions. Got that on DraftKings, but a full unit on it. I wanted to take Levis's regular over here, but I'm feeling a bit scorned after last week. I mean, I love that play against Tampa, and he came up just short. But I feel like we got a perfect leg to pair it with to kick that number down, and still tons of value here. Levis has flown over 175 plus yards each game. He's averaging 233. Facing a Jags defense that allows the 3rd most pass yards per game and 10th most yards per completion. 8 QBs have played a full game against Jacksonville. All 8 have hit 190 plus, including Desmond Ridder. If you can't parlay plus 175 on your book, 7 of 8 QBs that were healthy hit 220 plus. So if you want to put 200 plus passing yards, more than fine with that. What I like about this matchup is the fact that the Jags are a zone-heavy defense. Against zone thus far, Levis has been light years better. 20% jumping completion percentage, 25 passer rating jump in terms of passer rating, and then a whole 4 yards more air net yards per attempt against zone. And then on top of that, the Jags sit just 26 in pressure percentage this year. I know they've been picking it up a little bit lately, but going to take the overall numbers here. When he's kept clean, he's got a 70 completion percentage, 8.3 yards per attempt when pressured. Pretty dreadful. So I think they can hold up a bit here. And then the step 2 is Tyjae Spears, 3 plus receptions. He's cashed all 3 games with Levis starting. He's averaging 3.7 receptions. He's cashed his last 6 or 7 games in general. Again, zone looked with Levis, 2nd on the team in targets and receptions. And the Jaguars are just a cash cow in terms of running back receiving stats against them. I mean, they've allowed the most targets per game and most receptions per game to running backs through the air. I think the Jags are going to game plan to stop Derrick Henry here. I mean, he's gashed them in the past. If they can stop him and they can make Will Levis beat them, I think that's the spot they want to be in. So yeah, I think I think it's gonna be a pass heavy script today. And I like the Titans with the points at plus 6.5. I think there's way too much value on that divisional dog. Vrabel's great as a dog, even on the road. And I just think the Jaguars as a whole are a bit overrated. Trevor Lawrence certainly not impressing me thus far.
All right, so you're real quick on the SGP. So this is a SGP 2 legs. The odds of it come out to be what?
Minus 115.
Minus 115. All right. And you said you're leaning Titans with the points. Let's get that up here.
Yep.
Tennessee plus 6.5 because that's a consensus line. I'm hoping you got a 7.
Oh yeah, I got a 7.
All right, good. Let's bring up Andy next. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on this one. I got Tennessee. Division rival. Even though it's on the road, doesn't scare me. I know Vrabel's as a dog is amazing. And I actually like what I've seen from Will Levis. I know he's had a couple of rough ones in there. When he actually has time to throw, he's a half decent quarterback, so I think he'll have some time to throw today. Jags don't really scare you in the pass rush game, so yeah, I've got a Tennessee +7. You guys got it.
So I'm on the Titans too, as you know from YouTube. Couple things that concern me. So actually, I'll start with the positives. The positive angles I like for here is, despite how good Jacksonville's run defense is, Derrick Henry still finds a way to have good games against them. He's got excellent history against the Jags. Last year, the Jacksonville Jaguars had a top 5 run defense, so it's not like it was just this year. They had a top 5 run defense last year as well. Derrick Henry still had good games against them. I mean, he just plays well against them. So despite the Jags having such good numbers against the run, I still think Derrick Henry's going to break a big play or two. Like Prop Beaver talked about, Jags run a lot of zone coverage. Will Levis and the Titans passing offense. I think they were better against zone with Tannehill as well. So maybe it's just the system, but they tend to have more success against zone. Titans pass rush should be able to give Lawrence problems. Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys who has terrible splits when he's pressured. So if you get pressure on him, Trevor Lawrence can be bad. The thing is, Jacksonville has been good in pass protection, but I still trust the Titans' pressure to bail that bad secondary out a little bit. That's the positives. Here's what concerns me about this Titans bet, and here's what's one more positive. Looks like the Sharps agree with us. All those 7s got bought up. So when this number hit 7, Sharp Money came in, took Tennessee. So it looks like the pros agree with us that Tennessee's to move at 7. So those are the positives. Here's what's got me a little worried about my bet here. As Andy just said, Jacksonville in the season doesn't have a good pass rush, but I think we did it on YouTube. But if you split it up and look at their first 4 or 5 games versus their last 4 or 5 games, pressure numbers are up. They're pressuring the quarterback at about 31% of dropbacks as opposed to 21% from the first 4 or 5 games. So Jacksonville's pass rush hasn't been quite as bad recently. I'm a little worried about Will Levis with a super high turnover-worthy play rate against a Jacksonville pass rush that seems to be heating up. So that's where I'm worried. But this is still a side. I got in at Tennessee +7. I'd still take it at 6.5, but it would be a smaller bet for me. Let's bring up Toast. What do you got?
Yeah, I would lean the Jaguars in this spot. There's a lot of really good trends going their way, but I did personally for me, I did Calvin Ridley over 48.5 receiving yards. He hasn't looked good at all, but he's facing one of the league's worst secondaries this week. If he doesn't get it going this week, I don't know when he will. The coaches have talked about getting him more involved as well, so I'm going to face that. I kind of leaned to the over, but I just couldn't get there, so I'm just going to do Calvin Ridley over reception yards.
So you would lean Jags -6.5.
Yeah.
Another thing that concerns me is, if you guys remember, for a month straight, I was talking about, hey, Jags back from London. They're hot. We're seeing what we saw last year. Let's just blindly bet Jacksonville. And then one bad game against San Francisco, and I'm already bailing on that. I don't love that. If the Jags come out and just blow the Titans out, I'm going to be like, why didn't I stick to what I said I was going to do? So, yeah, this isn't one of my favorite bets, but I'm on Titans. Our poll is definitely on Jacksonville, though. Looks like 55% of our viewers are laying the points with the Jags, 36% taking the points with Tennessee. Next, Chargers at Packers. Can we get a weather report in Green Bay? Even though I looked at it last night, it's supposed to be low 30s, right?
Yeah, it's 45 and clear there right now. So
45?
Pretty decent weather.
Damn.
That's what it says.
Line still 3?
Line still 3. Consensus total at 44 on most books.
44. All right. Poll is running. All right, Prop Beaver, what do you got this one?
I think the season of love is getting a rerun this week. I like Jordan Love over 227.5 passing yards. Problem is with that, I had that last night. I then made the graphic for this game about an hour ago. The line has moved to 237.5, so it's moved 10 whole
That's
yards.
a significant
in
jump.
the past hour. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. So what I think I would have you guys pivot to is probably Jordan Love 200+ passing yards, and then Luke Musgrave with an alt line of sorts, like either 15+ or 20+. His actual total is at 26.5. But let me go into why I think that Jordan Love is going to have a great game today. According to FDN Fantasy, the Chargers run man coverage at the 5th highest rate in the league, and that is massive for Jordan Love, who's significantly better against man looks Against man coverage, 9th in passer rating, 11th in air net yards per attempt. Against zone, 32nd in passer rating, worst team against zone in the league, and 27th in air net yards per pass attempt. So that's great because Staley loves running that man coverage despite no corners. Doesn't make sense to me. Chargers rush defense looked pitiful last week, no denying that. But the Lions rush game with both Montgomery and Gibbs on the field, they're flat out elite. And I think they're a lot better than that, and they can limit Green Bay on the ground. I mean, against Detroit, they allowed 200 yards on 6.5 yards per carry. The previous 5 games, 75 yards per game on 3.3 yards per carry. So I think they could hold the Packers' run game in check despite the fact that they're gaining some steam. On top of that, Chargers are a fast-paced team, and they lack any form of a run game. As a result, opponents are averaging the 3rd most pass attempts per game against LA, 39 per game. Chargers, as a result, also allowing the 3rd most yards per attempt and the most passing yards per game in the league. As a result, listen to this. All 9 starting quarterbacks to face the Los Angeles Chargers this year have cashed their passing over. Yes, you heard that correctly. All 9. They're averaging 316 yards per game. Yes, 9-0. And it's not just their own totals. All 9 quarterbacks to face the Chargers have also cashed this line at 227.5. Now, I think at 237.5, that's 8 of 9 quarterbacks, with the only one going under to be Tyson Bagent at 232. But I mean, that's saying something right there. Love is, I guess, at the new line, he's only 4-5 to the over on the season, but he's cashed 3 straight. He's 4-0 to the over at home. The line move made this very confusing, but I loved it at 227.5. I would bump it down to like maybe 0.75 units if you're going to play it at the 237.5. But if you get 200 plus and Musgrave and an SGP, I would do a full unit on that. I really like that.
I like that too.
As far as the side, I will take the Packers in this one. I mean, who the hell do the Chargers, like, in what country is this team laying points on the road? I mean, I don't give a damn how bad the Packers are. In what country? Ukraine? I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Just really quickly, since Beaver was talking about Love, I'm on his completions. Another week where I'm on completions and Beaver's on yards. But Chargers allow 26 over 19.5 completions. Chargers allow 26.4 a game. That's 2nd most in the NFL. And Love has had 40-plus pass attempts in 2 of his last 3 games. So I think he's chucking it all over the ball, all over the yard today.
Let's bring up Rattlesnake. What do you like?
Yeah, I like Green Bay in this one too. A lot of the same reasons. Jordan Love against bad defenses is, like you guys said, it's actually been good for him. The one fear I have is Green Bay hasn't needed him to throw and win a game yet. Like in a game where he needs to throw the ball, they usually lose the game because I don't expect them to be able to run that much this week. So that's the only fear I have about it. But in terms of keeping it close, I think they keep it close. I don't trust the Chargers, especially on the road. I don't trust the Chargers at home either right now. So, yeah, I'm on Green Bay in this one. It makes me sick though.
Yeah, I'm on the Packers too. For this, basically the same reasons they already said. Chargers run a lot of man coverage and they're not good at it. Jordan Love has terrible numbers on the season, but you know what? He's had 3 good games. It's the 3 times he's seen a bottom 10 pass defense, and the Chargers are definitely a bottom 10 pass defense. So Jordan Love has actually played really well against these types of defenses. Man coverage, like I said, he's been good against that. I kind of agree with Prop Beaver. I'm a little worried about the Packers getting the run game going. They've been showing signs of life as Aaron Jones gets healthy. Packers are starting to run the ball a little bit more than they were to start the season, but like Prop Beaver said, Chargers run defense looked really good up until last week against Detroit. So it's tough to fade the run defense because I actually think the Chargers defense will be pretty solid against the run moving forward. So the Packers offense might be a little one-dimensional, but I'm completely down to fade the Chargers offense here. On the road, up in Lambeau. Now it looks like the weather's going to be all right. Not quite as cold as I would have hoped. But still, you got Justin Herbert on the road with no Mike Williams, no Joshua Palmer, no Gerald Everett. Keenan Allen still isn't confirmed play. Actually, I haven't checked this morning. He might be confirmed. He's listed as questionable. If Keenan Allen doesn't play, and I think he will, you're talking about top 4 receiving options out for Herbert on the road in colder weather. There's just no way. And the Packers, by the way, have played great defense against the run at home. They're allowing just 3.4 or 3.6 yards per carry at home in Lambeau. Chargers can't run the ball at all. So you're talking about back to Justin Herbert on the road, laying a full 3 without any of his receiving weapons. I'm not seeing it. This isn't really a bet on the Packers as much as it is a fade of the Chargers here. So yeah, I'm on Green Bay at the +3. Toast.
Really quick. I lean Chargers, but I didn't bet this game. I only played that prop, but I will say for you guys, there's a trend for Herbert in his career in these toss-up games. 4 points or less, whether he's a dog or a favorite. 11-16 ATS, but he's 2-7, 2-7-1 his last 10 in this spot, and the only 2 wins in that were Kirk Cousins in the Vikings and Zach Wilson in the Jets. So he doesn't really do well in these spots where he's rather it's a close game type of spread. They're kind of like a coin flip almost. So that's good for you guys.
Yeah.
Was that a dig at Goat Cousins? I'm just confused.
Looked like a slight dig at Cousins.
It just was he was on the list. It wasn't meant to be a dig or anything. It's just the
Okay.
2 people. Sorry.
Okay, just confirming. Thank you.
Our poll heavy on the Chargers here. 57% laying the 3 with LA, 26% taking the 3 with the Packers. Next.
I can say if the Chargers are winning at halftime, you know as well I will be betting the Packers at half.
Yeah, got to go there. If you don't know what he's talking about, Justin Herbert, when leading, or is it just period?
When Justin Herbert has a lead, he is 8-25-2 in the second half spreads. That is the 3rd worst in an NFL since 2005. Just fade them when they are leading at halftime. That's all you got to know.
Yep. Can I get a weather report in, where is this, Landover, Maryland? Weather report
Yeah.
in this game.
56 and clear. So
Good weather.
Nothing to worry about.
Up there, we at 9, 9.5, 8.5? What are we at?
Yeah, pretty much at 9 across the board. ESPN has it at 8.5. FanDuel has it at 9.5.
Consensus total?
Consensus total coming in at 39.
39. All right, Prop Beaver, you're taking DeVito's overs, right?
Yeah, alt overs. Actually, DeVito kind of summed me last week. I made a joke about the shitting his pants, and he had 2 touchdowns on me.
Dude.
So I'll give DeVito some props.
They were like
That was
garbage
awesome.
time.
They were
though.
garbage
It cost me like
time,
$2
yeah.
grand. It cost me like $2 grand.
Trust me, I'm not happy about it. DeVito could go fuck himself. But yeah, so I'm going with Bobby Okereke over 9.5 tackles plus assists here. This is one of my favorite dudes to watch in football. An absolute bull hawk. And what I really like here is that the commies are just like an absolute wagon for off-ball linebackers, tackles plus assist overs. In their last 7 games, they've allowed 7 off-ball linebackers to cash this total. Hit double digits. During that span, 9 linebackers hit at least 8+. 7 of them went over their season average. Okereke has cashed his last 5 of 7 games, including 11 against Washington in the first matchup. And what stood out to me about that one is the fact that Washington ran on just 31% of their plays in that matchup. The commies are coming in as 9-point favorites and in a position to control time of possession with elite arm Tommy DeVito at quarterback. So I really like the value here. I would play it up to -150. I did see some books actually move this down, though. I got it -125 last night. ESPN moved it down to -120. So if you could get it there, it's great value. I love Bobby OK to go off today. In terms of a side, fuck. I'm going to take I'm taking Goat Vito. I'm going to take Goat Vito at the 9. Yeah, I know. It's just like I just don't think the Commanders, even at home, should be laying 9 points. We saw them in the beginning of the year lay heavy points to the Cardinals, and Sam Howell looked like he was shitting his pants. I will say, first start of the season makes sense. Second start of his career also makes sense. But I respect the Giants' defense too much to lay that many points to them. So, yeah.
I think you've got this one wrong.
I don't care because I'm not betting it, but thank you.
I'm on Washington here. Yes, everyone's got that game fresh in their mind where the Giants beat Washington 14-7, and it wasn't too long ago. Was it 3-4 weeks ago? This is just a much different situation. First off, that game was in MetLife Stadium. That's number one. Number two, the Giants had Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. They had Leonard Williams playing. They also had a healthy secondary. None of those things are true right now. We got a guy named DeVito playing quarterback who, let's face it, he probably shouldn't have an NFL contract. I mean, I'm not dissing the guy. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't look like he can play at this level. The corners, Adoree Jackson is out. Their CB3 is out. They are decimated at corner, and the Giants run a lot of man coverage. How are they going to cover all these Washington receivers? And by the way, they have them. Washington's got weapons out there. Sam Howell's, what, 2nd or 3rd in the NFL in passing yards? How are they going to cover these guys? So, look, the Giants' defense has looked good over the last couple months, but I don't know how they make stops here. I expect Washington to score. And do I even need to make a case on the other side of the ball? Like, do I you guys know why the Giants won't score points, right? I mean, do I need to go into that? I'm pretty sure you guys got that. So yeah, it's crazy to lay this many points in the division game, but I don't see how the Giants keep this close. Barring an act of God, the Commanders should win this comfortably. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you fully. I can't back Tommy DeVito on the road in any situation. Not even in college, I would do that. Like I would not trust him here. Sam Howell's been able to throw it a lot this year. Obviously leads the league in second in passing yards, whatever. But also he throws the ball like 50 times a game. So I expect him to throw the ball a lot. The over might hit just because I think Washington's going to score a lot. But yeah, I'm on Washington in this one.
All right, Toast. What do you got?
Yeah, I leaned Washington in the first half, but it's like 5.5. And just because Washington was coming over from the East Coast or from Seattle, but I did Sam Howell under 23.5 completions. So I just think that sooner or later that number is going to get a little bit too high. I know he's throwing like 40 times a game, but with a decent favorite, I think they should be running the ball a lot. He averages like 20 completions a game in this type of spot. So I'm going to play under 23.5. I just think it's a little bit too high.
There is zero reason they should be chucking the ball away today. It should be a Brian Robinson.
I know.
Chris
That's what I'm
Rodriguez
saying.
type
Like, I
of
don't
day.
understand why
I
that
agree
number's
with you.
so high.
I agree with you firmly.
So Toast takes the under. He's scared to take a side, as always. 52% of our viewers are on Washington. 34% taking the points with the Giants. Pretty split on the total. Next. Raiders at Dolphins. Oh, this is an exciting one. Could I get a weather report in Dade County, please, Toast?
Nothing to worry about. 79 and clear.
Sounds lovely. We are at a 14 now, aren't we?
Yes, I got caught a bit off guard there. I got a friend text from my friend. Yes, it's 14.
We're
and
at work right
totals
now. We're at work.
Yep.
Put your phone down.
Sorry, boss. 44.5 is the total.
All right, so 14, 44.5. All right. Do you have a prop in this one? What are you doing here?
No, I kind of wanted to force a little Jacoby Myers under here, but like if they're 14-point underdogs, I mean, they might have to chuck the ball away. I know a lot of people I respect think that, they're taking Josh Jacobs over rushing yards, Josh Jacobs over rush attempts in the hopes that they're able to get the run going early. But I'm pretty sure the Dolphins know that their rush defense, I feel, is a bit underrated. They had that one horrible game against the Chargers, and they're pretty fantastic ever since. So I think they're going to be able to stop Josh Jacobs on the ground, and I don't really trust Aiden O'Connell to beat them through the year. On top of that, what does Aiden O'Connell struggle against, really? Pressure. He's been horrible under pressure, turning a lot of those pressures into sacks. The Dolphins' defense might not be great, but one thing they can do quite damn well is they can create a lot of pressure. Jalen Ramsey's back in the fold. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a prop. I'm gonna lay the points with Miami because hey, Raiders are not a winning team. Miami against non-winning teams, excellent. On top of that, Miami at home has just been absolutely murdering teams. So yeah, I'm gonna lay it with the Dolphins. I think after the Raiders were fucking celebrating smoking cigars after beating Zach Wilson and Tommy DeVito, they're in for a rude awakening today.
You know what? They celebrated back-to-back weeks though. They're undefeated with Antonio Pierce. I'm putting Raiders graphic up because I said on YouTube I would take the Raiders if it hit 14. It now hit 14, so I am a man of my word. I'll bet the Raiders, but of course I'm not excited about it. If you're betting the Dolphins, I completely get it. I'm taking the Raiders. This graphic says 13.5. I actually didn't bet it yet. I just noticed that it hit 14 about 10 minutes before we went live. So I thought when I looked earlier this morning, it was still 13.5 across the board. So that move to 14 must have happened relatively recently. So yeah, I'll take Raiders plus 14. Don't like it enough to even talk more about it. Andy?
Yeah, I'm on the Dolphins with AJ here. I think they're gonna score a lot, so I think the over could hit a lot more because of the Dolphins. Like we've seen them when they're playing bad teams like this. They usually score a lot, so I expect them to score a lot. And also, I don't think Vegas's pass game it's not non-existent. AOC's there. He's all right. He's been okay. And they're going to throw the ball a lot, so I think they'll score a little bit too. So I actually like the over. And I don't love the Dolphins at 14. I liked it at 13.5. I think they win the game by 14. So, yeah, I like the over, but I'd side Dolphins.
Toast.
Same thing every week. Raiders team total under 14.5. Yeah. So they've only
It
not
finally
hit this number
lost, right?
once this season. So
It finally lost.
yeah,
right?
it's only not hit once this season. Yeah. So, but yeah, it hit last week. I'm gonna play it again this week, and we'll see what happens.
Raiders
it
team
was, it wasn't
total-
14 last week, but yeah.
Raiders team total under. Okay.
Yep.
Our poll is leaning towards Miami. 50% of our viewers are on the Dolphins. 49%. 35% on the Raiders. 11% over. So a good amount of people clicking the over there. Next. Cardinals at Texans, and I hate that I feel like I'm on such a square side here, but I truly think it's the right side. It's just... All right, well, before we get there, Houston's a dome, right?
Yeah, it's a dome.
Mhm.
NRG
Yeah, thought so.
Stadium.
This line's still at 6.
It's at 5.5 on most books.
Yeah, it was. If I saw 5.5 this morning.
Totals at 48.
48 under 48. All right, poll is running. All right, what are we doing here, Proppy? Where you got a prop, you got a side. What are you doing?
Now, I feel I didn't have the time to get to a prop here today for this game. If I were to do anything, I would probably parlay some alt lines for Tank Dell and Trey McBride. I don't have the stats in front of me, but a guy I follow was basically saying that both of them have great matchups today in terms of how they succeed against coverage. Nico Collins should struggle. And honestly, Marquise Brown only got 4 targets last week. I wanted to bet him, but after getting only 4 targets, I mean, I'm not really enthralled with that. So, yeah, don't love the props for this game. Feel they're super inflated. If I had to take a side, oh, this is tough. I'm probably going to take the Cardinals here. I just feel like when you're getting the Texans off of that spot where they beat the Burrow at home, everybody and their mother's like, wow, CJ Stroud's the man. He's the MVP, yada, yada, yada. That's when it all comes crashing down. Jonathan Gannon should have a nice game plan cooked up. I feel like the defense for the Cardinals also has been a bit improved lately as well. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to take. I don't love it. I'm not placing a big wager on this at all. Probably a half unit max. But I'm just mainly playing the spot here.
Yeah, I agree, and almost for the same reason. It's a nice sell-high spot on Stroud. Look, he looks amazing. Thrown for 800 yards and 6 or 7 touchdowns or something in the last 2 weeks. He looked awesome. But you know what the score was in those 2 games? 37-34 and 37-33 or something. Let me look it up and see exactly what it was. 30-27 and 39-37. So despite C.J. Stroud playing back-to-back MVP-level performances, Texans didn't cover this number once. And before that, they actually looked pretty bad. C.J. Stroud, before that, had back-to-back bad games. So you mean to tell me that if C.J. Stroud comes out, throws the ball like an MVP, Houston still might not cover this number? And then you throw in the idea that, like, he is due for a bad game, a little bit of regression. Kyler Murray, I mean, he looked all right last week, and the Texans defense is looking pretty awful against the pass. I mean, Baker Mayfield roasted this Houston defense. He went off against Houston. They put up 37 points. It was Baker Mayfield, who's looked pretty bad recently. There's just no way I can lay 6, and look, this number was at 4.5 early in the week. It's been bet up. Oh, it's at 5.5 now, not 6. These graphics say 6. But it was bet up. So there's some sharp money coming in on Houston. That's why I'm saying this is the square side. This is a very public dog here. So if you want to take the sharp move, Houston would probably be the move. But I think they are just overvaluing, just an overreaction to what we've seen in recent games. Stroud looks great, but Houston's defense definitely does not. And also, Dameon Pierce is out. This is a Texan run game that already is pretty ass. Now it's without the running back. I don't expect them to run the ball. James Conner back and healthy for the Cardinals. Arizona looked great running the ball when he was on the field earlier in the year. I think Houston's run defense is good, but I think Arizona's going to move the ball too. So, yeah, I'll take the 6. Andy?
Yeah, I'm with you guys with siding with the Cardinals, but I'm more in on the over in this game. This feels like a game where, well, what you just said, the scores of their games recently, they've been up in the 60s, but also Kyler's got a game under his belt. I think he'll feel a little bit better. I don't think he'll be prime Kyler Murray yet, but I think he'll be better. And Houston scoring 30 every week, so I think this over hits very easily. if I had to pick a side, it'd be the Cardinals. For a lot of what you guys said, CJ Stroud is due for a little bit less, a little regression, but that doesn't mean he's gonna have a bad game. He's had a lot of yards in the last 2 games, so yeah, I actually I like the over more than anything in this one. A lot of points.
Toast.
I was leaning the Cardinals too. I didn't bet it yet, but I did bet Trey McBride, like Beaver was talking about, over 55.5 receiving yards. Over the last couple games, our last 3 games, 28 targets. He's turned that into 248 yards and a touchdown. With Murray under center, that only helps him a little bit. So I like Trey McBride. I lean the Cardinals as well, but I hate being on the side of a public dog like that. And if that line's moving up away from that floor, that doesn't make me feel a bit any better. So I'm going to stay off the side on that one.
Definitely sharp action on Houston for sure. And our poll's pretty split. It looks like 44% of our viewers are laying the points with Houston, 43% taking the points with the Cards. Next game. Bears at Lions. All right. No weather report needed here. All right. Consensus line, please.
I'm just waiting for it to load on.
It's 7.5 for 8.
It is. Well, yeah, it's pretty split. Half the books listed have it at 7.5. Half the books listed have it at 8.
So I'll put both up there. So consensus total.
Consensus total in this ball game is coming in, well, half at 47.5, half at 48.
47.5, under 48. There we go. Poll is running.
So it's clear there's.
All right. What are you doing, Prop Beaver?
Yeah, so for this game, I specifically took advantage of a mispricing in the market that I saw on DraftKings. I bet, 1 second, let me just make sure it's still at those odds. I bet Jared Goff over 1.5 pass TDs minus 145. It's still there. Every other book has this at like 170 plus, and DraftKings is holding strong with that minus 145. I want to challenge them there on this one because I think that's a bit ridiculous. Goff going back to 2022 is one of the best quarterbacks in football when he plays at Ford Field. Last 17 home games, he's 14-3 to the over, averaging 2.4 touchdowns per game. And I think we're catching a bit of value here because Goff is only 4-5 to the over on the season and 2-2 to the over at home this year. But I think this is the perfect spot for Goff to pop off in the red zone as he faces a Bears defense that's truly horrendous through the air. They're allowing the 3rd most pass TDs per game, 2 per game to opposing QBs. But on the road, that jumps to the 2nd most, 2.4 per game. Goff has shredded the Bears in the past. He's catched his last 4 or 5 matchups against them and 3 straight at home against Chicago. And while we have seen some more respectable efforts from the Bears defense at home recently, look at who those games came against. I mean, Bryce Young and Brian Hoyer, 2 of the worst quarterbacks going right now. When Chicago has gone on the road, all 5 quarterbacks to face them have cashed their passing TDs over. And now look at their numbers in key situations. I mean, they're 30th in opponent third down percentage. On the road, they're 32nd. 56% of third down opportunities for opponents, Bears opponents on the road, are being converted. That's insane. And on top of that, they're 31st in opponent red zone percentage. Bears defense has been actually surprisingly stout on the ground. They're allowing just 0.4 rush TDs per game, 4th fewest amongst NFL teams. So with the discrepancy in the price, I love this on DraftKings at minus 145. If you're not fortunate enough to have DraftKings, what I would do, I would go ahead and I'd parlay Goff over 1.5 pass TDs and the Detroit money line that's coming about to minus 120 on most books. Yeah, and in terms of my side, I love the lines here. I don't care that the public is coming in on the Bears or the Sharps or whatever that is. I don't really give a shit about that. I think the Lions are the supreme team here. They continue every week to prove that they're one of the most dominant teams in football. Has the defense fallen off a bit lately? Yes, but at home, I have confidence they come back. On top of that, Justin Fields coming off of that thumb injury. Who knows how comfortable he is throwing the ball here. So I'm going to lay it with Detroit. I just think that I don't think that the Bears will have an answer for them in terms of stopping them from scoring. So I don't think the Bears can keep up.
Yeah, same. Let me get your graphic up to say the Bears too. Clearly, there's some sharps out there betting the Bears heavy. Sharp action is showing on Chicago in the data. This line was at 10. It's bet down to 7.5 on some books. Look like some 8s are starting to pop up, but I was seeing 7.5s across the board yesterday. So people out there like the Bears. Some heavy hitters like the Bears. I guess maybe, okay, so let's try to make a case for the Bears. I'm on the Lions, but let's try to make a case for the Bears. Justin Fields looked great in his 2 games before getting hurt. Okay, I'll give you that. Maybe he comes out, makes some plays, and looks good on the road in Ford Field. Maybe. Lions have been vulnerable to the pass. I personally don't think I'm sold on that, but maybe. I'll even give you that. Okay, maybe Justin Fields comes out and throws the ball all over the field. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe. And yeah, if you want to add on that Chicago's got a good run defense, for sure. I talk about it almost every week. Chicago's got a great run defense, very undervalued run defense. They're actually first in the NFL in yards per carry allowed. Even if Tremaine Edmonds doesn't play at linebacker, he's listed as questionable, I still like this Bears run defense, so I'll give you that as well. But you cannot sell me on the fact that the Bears can stop the Lions' passing attack. I mean, Jared Goff, as we know, there are 2 certainties about Jared Goff. One, he's a beast at Ford Field. Last season and this season, he's great. He's good as hell at home. Number 2, he's good as hell when you give him a clean pocket, and the Bears are 32nd, dead last in generating pressure. So that you could sell me on the Bears run defense. You could sell me on Justin Fields coming back. But there's just in no world do I see the Bears pass defense making stops, putting 0 pressure on Goff, sitting in the zone and getting picked apart all day by Laporta, by St. Brown. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see how the Bears stop the Lions from scoring 40 here. So, yeah, I'm on the Lions. It's super square. The sharp action is on the other side. I can't get there. I'm laying the points with Detroit. Andy?
Yeah, I'm laying with Detroit too. And you guys brought up all about Detroit and how are the Bears going to stop them? How are the Bears going to score? Like, we've talked about what the main thing Detroit is bad at is their secondary. Well, the Bears really aren't a deep threat. They're not a threat with the in the air. They weren't a threat. They were more of a threat with Bagent. They don't let Fields really do much. And now you have Fields coming off an injury. You're asking him to throw the ball deep down the field against the Lions. Like, no, I think the Bears might get some run game going, but not enough to where they even get much going at all on offense. So, yeah, I like the Lions big in this one.
All 3 of us on the Lions. Is Toast going to go on a Bears island by himself?
No, I'm not going on the island, but I'm on the Lions too. I actually played their team total over 28.
I looked at that.
But
you can get it 27 and a half.
This is just, or yeah, 20. Sorry, that's 27 and a half. This is just a bet on Jared Goff at home and indoors. Jared Goff indoors, 30 and 14 ATS, 20 and 6 ATS the last 3 seasons. Jared Goff at home since 2020. Let's just take over the last 19 games. The Lions, let's see, 16 and 3 ATS. And then I checked one more thing, how the Lions do with Jared Goff as a big spread guy. Last time, 9.5, they won by 20. Last time they laid 7, they won by 9. So they've done pretty well in this spot as well. So it's just really hard for me not to like Jared Goff and them. They continue to do it. And it's not like I said, the reason that I said that 16 and 3 over the last 19 is that they've been doing this for a while. It's not just this year. I mean, it's been almost a 2-year thing now where they've been playing well. So yeah, I'm all over the Lions again.
Yeah, and something I forgot to include. I don't have them written down or anything. Maybe Prop Eve or Andy remembers it because we had a podcast on in the office. The Justin Fields record against the spread when it comes to the NFC North is like, what was it, 1-11?
I think it was 2-8. It was something pitiful.
He's terrible in division games. He's been terrible in division games too. So I forgot to add that.
Yeah, Jared Goff has also covered 11 straight games against the NFC North, just so you guys know. And then I found my number about the Lions. Lions are 30 and 13 ATS since the start of 2021. That's the best in the NFL. The very best in the NFL since 2021.
Yeah. All right. So we'll sweep across the board. The Lions, our poll, heavy on Detroit as expected. We know we're on the public side here. So if you're riding with us, we are the squares today, in this game at least. Hopefully it works out for us. We know that the Lions are a team that can cash on the square side. They do it all the time. So 66% of our viewers laying the 7.5 with Detroit, 23% taking the 8. Next, Steelers at Browns. This game.
This game's a heater.
No. It's not that it's a bad game. Well, first let's get a weather report.
Clear, 48 and clear. Nothing to worry about.
It's a beautiful day in Cleveland, Toast. Is this at 2.5 now, prop even?
You could get 2.5 on FanDuel. You could get 1.5 on MGM, but pretty much 2 everywhere else.
I'm just gonna put 2.
And then the total's up at 34.5 now. It's rising despite everybody on the under.
It's rising. And you know what? That's
like
the theme.
that.
I'm gonna go first here.
Okay.
And that's the theme for this game. The theme is what the hell. If you remember on YouTube, I said everyone's taking Pittsburgh here. This line was Cleveland -1. And I was like, everyone's taking Pittsburgh here. So when this line flips to Cleveland +1.5, Cleveland +2, I will take the Browns. That's what I said. I wake up this morning, or actually it was late last night. It was like 2 in the morning last night. I was finishing up the ticket. It's Cleveland -2.5 now. Yo, what?
Lock it in.
Man, I'm not betting a side in this game. I took the under for a few dollars. But if I had to put up a side, I have to take Pittsburgh. It's so square. But there's just no way. I don't know what people are seeing. Who's taking Cleveland? Why? Rookie quarterback starting games against Mike Tomlin. Hey, listen to this, Toast, with your stupid ass Cleveland bet. Rookie quarterback starting a game against Mike Tomlin, 5-28. 5-28, and you're favored. You're laying points. Bro, if this was Cleveland +2 in this low-scoring defensive AFC North game, I would take the 2 points, and I'd be with you. But I'm not laying 2. Like, this number probably lands on 1 or 2. Oh, there's just no way. I hate it. And like I said, I didn't actually bet this. I'm on the under. But obviously, it's more fun on the show to pick sides. So I'm going to bring Toast up first because he seems to think he has this one figured out. Go ahead.
I do, actually. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the floor. Just a couple things here. So the total 34.5 since 2005 in division games when a total's at 35 or less. The home team, 25-8-1 ATS, covering by more than 5 points a game. Dorian Thompson-Robinson didn't look good his first time out against the Ravens.
No, he
That's
didn't.
one of the league's better defenses. Not to mention the fact that he didn't know he was starting until the day of the game. So it is what it is. I'll take my chances there. But Pittsburgh, one of the luckiest teams in the league. There's no question about that. I mean, they're 6-3. They could easily be 2-7 or 3-6. So the Browns are going to have the best defense. Browns have the best defense in the NFL. They're number 1 in EPA per play by a wide margin. They should be able to create some turnovers. Pittsburgh's defense, 20th in EPA per play. I truly think that even with DTR as a quarterback, I still think that the Browns are a much better team. So, I played Browns -1.5 last night. And I'm pretty confident in it.
I didn't even like DTR in the Pac-12, man. Thought he was overvalued there. We see like UCLA still looking pretty good without him. Let's bring up Prop Beaver. Talk some sense into your boy Toast.
I'm laying the 2.5 for Cleveland.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. I just this Pittsburgh team, and I'm not gonna go in here and like bang the table like this is a must.
No,
bet.
you're
This
banging
is
the
like-
table. You're banging the table right now.
This is like I couldn't give a shit less about this game. It's 50-50. What I'm gonna say is that every week I feel like it's like, dude, the Steelers. I mean, logistically, we should fade this team. They stink. Like their defense, yes, they're good. They create pressure. The secondary's horrendous. And on top of that, Kenny Pickett and Canada are fucking awful. I mean, Jesus Christ. The team's awful, but they continue to win every single week. Now, this week, when it seems like it makes the most sense to take the points with Pittsburgh, that is when DTR and the boys come in and they beat their ass. Now, here's what I'm going to say. My favorite bet for this game, I'm going with a prop here. I'm going with David Njoku over 3.5 receptions. You get that +115 on Bet365. It's pretty ridiculous to me that the books continue to disrespect Njoku even when Watson's out. I mean, remember when we took him against the Colts with PJ Walker at quarterback? That was free money. And normally when I see a price like this with the hate rate, I'm discouraged. I want nothing to do with it. I'm going to take a chance here. Njoku's cashed his last 7 to 8 games. He's averaging 4.5 receptions per game. And then he's 3-1 to the over in games where Watson didn't take the majority of the snaps, averaging 4.5 receptions in those games. Now, without Watson, Njoku's led Cleveland in receptions. The lone game where he had DTR as a quarterback, he had 6 receptions on 7 targets against a Baltimore defense that doesn't allow many yards or targets to tight ends. The Steelers linebacking core, I don't know if you've seen the past 2 weeks, they've gotten ravaged with injuries. They have 2 replacements in there who are both horrendous at coverage. On top of that, their 2 starting safeties are also out. So the guys who mainly guard tight ends on this defense, they're all out, and their replacements are pretty goddamn bad in coverage. With the insane amount of pressure that Pittsburgh brings and both starting tackles out, I think that he's got to lean on a safety blanket here. I think they're going to stack the box. I think that he's going to have to get the ball quickly out in terms of pressure. And I think that Njoku's, again, going to beat the books here like he continues to do every single week. I don't know why they keep pricing the guy like this, so I'm going to bet it.
Andy, what are you doing?
We're splitting it. I'm with Pittsburgh here. I didn't understand how Cleveland was a favorite in the first place in this one with DTR starting, and now it's continuing to rise. I don't get that. Look, you can say you'll take your chances with DTR. He didn't just look bad in that game, and I get it. He found out he was starting like a day before, whatever. He looked awful, and that was against pressure. And he's going to face a lot of pressure again. He did it in college a lot. He's a turnover machine. The guy turns the ball over. That team is a turnover machine without Deshaun Watson. They had like 8 interceptions without Deshaun in the 4 games. That's an insane number. As bad as Kenny Pickett is, he hasn't turned the ball over in forever. Like when he's playing, he doesn't turn the ball over, doesn't put the ball in danger. Like I think the game comes down to I think Pittsburgh's going to have the ball more because there's turnovers in it. So yeah, I like Pittsburgh today.
And the fact that
it's funny that you mentioned that because the Browns have the best defense in the NFL. They're sitting at a -4 turnover margin. The fucking lucky ass Steelers a +10 turnover margin. That is not sustainable. They're losing this football game today.
The lucky ass Steelers.
Kenny interceptions over is at -150 despite not throwing one in like the past, I don't know, 5 or 6
The
games.
lucky ass Steelers continue to pay me.
The
lucky ass Steelers continue to pay me. So
lucky ass Steelers are trash.
Now, I feel
I don't have any affinity with either one of them. So
I feel a lot better about my position now that I know a couple of squares like Beaver and Toaster on Cleveland.
Oh, okay, word. Yeah.
That line movement has to scare the shit out
It does. That's why I only took the under.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that was on the record.
Yeah. 44% of our viewers are taking Pittsburgh, 37% on Cleveland. Maybe Pittsburgh's not as public of a dog as I thought. Anyway, next game. Hide user.
You're just saying that to make yourself feel better.
No.
Yeah, if that helps you sleep at night, that's good, bro.
All right, cool. Good luck with your Browns bets. Cheer for DTR. You guys are gonna love it. You guys are gonna love it.
By the second quarter, he's gonna be wanting PJ Walker. By the second quarter.
Yep.
Dude, if PJ Walker comes in, it's even better for my Njoku bet. I don't give a damn who's that quarterback.
Can I get a weather report in Carolina, please?
64 and clear, all good.
10.5 still.
Yes, it is.
10.5. Cowboys -10.5. Consensus total, please.
Waiting for that to load. Would be lying if I said no. I know what it is.
40.
All right. It is coming in at 34.5. No, that's the fucking
No,
Steelers
it's
Browns
not.
game. What the hell, odds jam? What the hell, odds
Yeah,
jam?
it was 40.
It's 43. 43.
I thought it was 44. So there you go. There you go. Polls running. Prop Beaver. Are you backing Dak Prescott here?
What type of name is that? The guy barely takes sacks.
What's your
One of the
pick,
best
dude?
QBs in the NFL under pressure. I like a Bryce Young SGP here. I bet it's at +150. I bet it on Bet365. I'm going with both of his overs and rushing totals today. Over 2.5 rush attempts and over 10.5 rush yards. The Panthers O-line is quite bad at pass protection. I mean, I'm sure you watched the Panthers game. Jesus Christ. And they're 26th in PFF pass block rate, 25th in adjusted sack percentage. Now they're going to face the Dallas Cowboys, who are, they're second in pressure percentage, third in PFF pass rush grade. And what that tells me is that Young is literally going to be running for his life today. And that's great news for us because I think this line holds a ton of value. Through his first 5 games, he wasn't being too aggressive with his legs. He was averaging just 1.6 attempts per game for 13 yards per game, 1 and 4 to the SGP. But in his last 3 games, he's averaging 4 attempts plus per game, 23.5 yards per game, and he's 3-0 to the SGP. And while he lost a bit of some efficiency, he's being more aggressive and picking up yards with his feet. And there's a heavy correlation here because with 3+ rush attempts, he's 4-0 to his yards line. With 11+ rush yards, he's 4-1 to his attempt over. So why not combine the two and get great odds like plus 150? 9 QBs have faced Dallas thus far. They are 7-2 to their rush attempts over. Of those 9 QBs, 6 of them hit their yards over. Dallas allowing the 6th most rush yards per game, 10th most yards per carry, and 2nd most rush attempts per game. 2 opposing quarterbacks. Now, if you're not on Bet 365 and some of the other books won't allow you to parlay the attempts and the yards, here's what I would do. I put a half unit on each of those lines. I like them both equally. I think there's some great value here. Bryce Young going to be running for his life today. If I have to pick a side in this dog shit ass game,
well, you do have to pick a side.
I'm taking 10.5 with Carolina. Simply put, because Dak Prescott, not as good on the road. Cowboys defense, not as dominant on the road. I mean, you could say that Dak Prescott has improved on the road recently. I mean, he was good against the Chargers as well as he was good against the Eagles, but those are 2 bottom 10 pass defenses. Panthers pass D at home, arguably top 10.
It's awesome.
Good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're very, very good at Carolina. I consider taking some Dak unders today, but I didn't have the balls to do it. So, yeah, this is what I'm rocking with here.
Did you see my props today?
No, actually, no.
I added a Kyle props section to the VIP ticket at the bottom. Just saying. And by the way, you guys were making fun of my nickname, Sack Prescott, but the comments enjoyed it. So, joke's on you. It's a good nickname. Panthers plus 10.5 is the move here. Like Prop Beaver said, Dak Prescott's having a great year, but you know what? If you look at his splits, not nearly as good on the road. Passer rating drops almost 25 points. He goes at home, he's got 11 touchdowns and 2 picks. On the road, 6 and 4. Definitely has not been good. Well, as good on the road. He hasn't been absolutely terrible, but hasn't been good on the road. But the main point is, like Prop Beaver said, this Panthers defense, if you just look at the numbers on the season, they suck. But for some reason, they always show up at home. And nobody, despite all the injuries to their secondary, despite all the shit they're going through, no one can figure out how to throw the ball in this Panthers defense in this building. And J.C. Horn's back from injury. Von Bell's finally healthy. Xavier Woods is healthy, I think. So that secondary, which has been banged up all year, J.C. Horn went down in week 1. It's finally got a lot of the pieces back. Brian Burns is back. He missed a game. I think Dak Prescott's going to struggle.
J.C. Horn?
Yeah, that's what I just said, dude.
Oh, sorry.
I think Dak Prescott's going to struggle. And look, do I trust Bryce Young to make plays against the Cowboys defense? Absolutely not. It scares the shit out of me. But in my opinion, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, this should be a low-scoring, close game. And if you want to make the argument, Bryce Young's going to turn the ball over, I think Dak Prescott is equally likely to turn the ball over in this spot in this game. Also, Cowboys got their Thanksgiving game in 72 hours. So like that's a big one for them against Washington. A little bit of a look ahead spot. So yeah, I'm taking the 10.5. Toast, are you taking your beloved Cowboys on the road here?
They're not my they're
you
my
love
Cowboys,
the Cowboys.
But they're not beloved. I like the under 43.5 at minus 112, and I like Dak under 1.5 passing touchdowns at plus 125 as well. You kind of just talked about it. The Cowboys Panthers defense is bad, but they kind of tend to show up at home, and now they're going to catch the Cowboys in a look-ahead spot to their Thanksgiving game. Not to mention the Cowboys don't really usually play well on the road, East Coast, in this 1 o'clock window. Just historically, like I said, J.C. Horn's back. That's going to help the Panthers on that defense. So I just think that it's kind of like a sleepy spot for Dallas. I don't really worry about the Panthers offense either. So at 43.5, I'm going to take the under on that.
Let's go to Andy. Andy, are you taking the boys?
No, I'm with Carolina in this one. They're much better their defense is much better at home. I really don't like this game at all. I just couldn't back Dallas in this spot. You're right. They're looking ahead. They came off a blowout division win. I just don't see them blowing out another team on the road. So yeah.
Someone said Sack Prescott is cold hot dog water on the road. Our polls all over Dallas. 61% of our viewers taking the Cowboys, 24% taking the Panthers. So obviously, as expected, Dallas heavy public side here. Next. All right, let's talk Bucks 49ers, and this might be my betting wise, my least favorite game on the board today. Can I get a weather report in San Francisco, please, Toast? What's going on in the Bay Area?
60 degrees and clear.
60 degrees and clear. Has this number hit 14 yet, Prop Beaver? I saw 13.
Now, 13.5 totals at 42 and 41.5, depending on your book of choice.
Under 42. All right. Polls running. Prop Beaver, are you betting this mess?
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. This is the who gives a rat's ass game of the week. I mean, I could not give a shit less. I think that honestly, what I would do here, and the low total is kind of leaning that way. I would probably go with the under. As bad as Tampa Bay is, they have a fantastic red zone defense, and most of their Stroud touchdowns were coming from like 50 yards away from the freaking end zone. The dude was just piercing them from deep. Brock Purdy is a great deep ball threat, but I don't know. I think they have to play some more. They have to be a little more preventive this week in terms of the defense. They know that. Todd Bowles knows that. And also, I think that Todd Bowles is going to send the blitz. Purdy, not under pressure, amazing. But when he's pressured a bit, that's when you start to see some flaws from him. I think also the 49ers defense looked back. I mean, it could be that the Jaguars are just mids as hell, which I do believe.
It was a flat spot. Relax, dude.
Oh my God, they fucking suck. Stop sucking them off. They stink.
They paid me out 4 straight weeks, so.
The Jags stink.
Kyle really likes the Jags.
Well, when
I
a
know,
team
dude.
pays
He
you
has
out 4 straight Sundays, you tend to respect them. All right, next. I'm going. I think I'm putting the 49ers up. The reality is I have no interest in betting this game. Normally in this spot, I would take the Bucks just with the public heavy on the 49ers and this big number. But Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers have been great at covering the spread at home as huge favorites. They always seem to get it done. So this is the way I would lean, not betting the game. Don't care to talk about it anymore. Andy?
Yeah, Niners just blew out a pretty good team on the road. I know you said it was a flat spot. It happened still. And I think they do it again this time at home. I think they blow them out. I have no interest in watching the game. I don't think many do. So yeah, I'm with San Francisco.
Toast, are you excited about this one? Yo, Toast, someone called you out in the comments.
No,
someone called you out in the comments. He goes, Toast said that he's not. Toast says the Cowboys are not my beloved Cowboys while rocking a Dallas shirt.
Damn. I mean, they're my team, but I'm not. I would never go to bat for those pieces of but yeah. 49ers at home, just for, last 19 games, 16-3 ATS, so it's really hard to bet those 49ers, but I don't have any interest. I would actually bet over if I had to make a play. I'm not betting this game. I would play over, though.
Wow, you're going head-to-head with Andy.
I'm just saying that the 49ers, I'm not betting it, but the 49ers can put up 30 any week. That doesn't take much on the Tampa Bay side, so that's how I would lean. I'm not playing it.
All right, next game. I mean, our polls leaning San Francisco, 49% taking the 49ers, 30% taking the points to the Bucks. Next. Seahawks at Rams is next.
I'm very curious where you are because I love my bet on this.
I like mine too. So, can I get a weather? Oh, wait, no, not in SoFi. Can I get updated line, please?
Yeah, so lines at 1.5 on every book except ESPN. And then the total is pretty much all over the place. You get at 45.5, 46, 46.5.
I'll just put it at 46. Prop Beaver, where are you at on this one?
From a side perspective, I could not be more torn. But I do have a prop I like in this game quite a bit. I'm going with Kenneth Walker under 9.5 receiving yards. Just a pure fate of the efficiency here because Kenneth Walker last week, I don't know if you saw, he had a 64-yard reception against the Washington Commanders that he took to the hizzy. But let's not ignore the fact that his role in this offense is dramatically increasing. He's been out-snapped by Zach Charbonnet now in 3 straight weeks. And during these 3 weeks, he's had 2 or less targets and 1 or less reception in all 3 of them. He's 11-4 to the under with 2 or less targets and 13-5 to the under with 2 or less receptions. And the Rams, you do not want to take their overs in terms of running back receiving yards because the Rams allow the fewest yards per game and the fewest yards per reception to running backs. Also, LA are amongst the teams who play man on more than 50% of their snaps, according to FDN Fantasy. Walker is 4-0 when facing teams that apply to that, averaging just 2 receiving yards per game. You saw them earlier this year, had 4 receptions on 5 targets and had 3 receiving yards against them. With his role decreasing, with Jackson Smith the Jigba, his role increasing, I think that there's a lot of value on this under.
So Kenneth Walker under receiving yards.
And I don't have a side. I do not know what to say.
You don't have a side at all.
No, I mean, this is so hard. But I feel like the Seattle's a side here. So, fuck it. The Seahawks.
Okay.
No, you just ruined it for me, Beaver.
Why?
Because I didn't know that the Rams were like that.
Dude,
I didn't know
every sharper, every Twitter cappers, Rams. And they're betting like 3 units on it.
Damn. Okay.
So you're on the Seahawks. Andy?
I'm with him. I was very torn in this. I'll go with him on Seattle because I'll trust him on that. This game's very weird to me. I don't trust either of these teams in any other situations against each other now. I guess the home team being the favorite here. I don't know. I like Seattle here. Geno Smith maybe make a couple plays. This is Seattle for me.
Here's the thing, and I'll just say this real quick. If Sean McVay didn't utterly own Pete Carroll, this would be a no-brainer for the Seahawks. But he does. I think that I remember tracking it. 9-1 against the spread in his last 10 games against Pete Carroll. Terrifying, but guess what?
Yeah, but they were like heavy
broken.
underdogs in a couple of those.
And the Rams had one of the better defenses of the past era during that time. So,
like if you bring up the against the spread, yeah, but Seahawks swept them 2-0 last year. So, yeah, the Rams may have covered the spread in both games, but they lost. Toast?
Yeah, I'm on the Rams, but I hate it now, so I'm not going to pound my thing on it.
He's not going to pound his thing.
Pound your thing on it. What?
Jesus Christ, bud. This is a good show.
I was reading. But yeah, Stafford kills the zone. Seahawks are playing kind of a heavy zone right now. You got a look-ahead spot for the Seattle with that Thanksgiving game against the 49ers on deck. McVay has owned Pete Carroll 10-4 ATS. That ATS mark improves to 10-2 as an underdog. In the last recent seasons, 9 of the last 10 he's covered. So it's just, I don't know. Beaver really ruined it for me.
He took the wind out of your sails.
Like that, so. Yeah, totally took the wind out of my sails. So.
I'm not going to bang my thing about it.
Not going to bang my thing about it. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'm on Seattle. Plus 1.5. I said on YouTube when the Seahawks were favored, I said I like Seattle. I'm waiting for the line movement because this one's going to flip, and I'm going to get Seattle at plus 1.5 and plus 2. I actually got a Seattle plus 2.5 late last night around 2 a.m. So I'm holding a Seattle plus 2.5 ticket, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. Look, the Rams defense hasn't been good this year. They generate zero pressure. And when Toe said, yeah, okay, maybe a little bit of a look-ahead spot for the Seahawks, they can't afford to look ahead right now. I mean, they've been losing games. They barely beat the Commanders last week. They need to win, and they need to win this division game right here. This is a big one, and you're going to give Geno Smith time in the pocket. The Rams also can't really stop the run. Kenneth Walker isn't having the most explosive season, but he's had good games. The Seahawks have been able to run the ball against bad run defenses, which the Rams are, and I just feel like everyone coming in on the Rams is just a dramatic overreaction to Matt Stafford, who's awesome. As far as arm talent goes, he's about as good as it gets. But I am still not buying that the Seahawks have a bad defense because it doesn't make any sense to me. They had a good defense last year. They have the same defense with Leonard Williams, Bobby Wagner, and Witherspoon added. There's no way this defense can be bad. I know that it's had some bad performances recently, but Stafford, as we know, can put up numbers. He can make highlight throws. Like, there are some throws he makes where it's like, holy shit, this dude is so good. But you know what? He doesn't really get the ball in the end zone much. He's not the best quarterback in the red zone. I think he's only have 8 touchdown passes on the season, something like that. I don't trust this Rams offense as a whole. I think it's a lot more bark than it is bite, especially without Kyron Williams on the field and without much of a running threat. I think the Seattle defense finally shows up here. I'm on the Seahawks. I've lost 2 weeks in a row betting this Seahawks team. I think they come up and win this big division game. Our poll is dead split on this one. 44% on Seattle, 42% on the Rams. So we're pretty much split down the even. Seattle slightly wins. Next, 2 games left. There's an underdog up here. That's last week's. Where the hell do I get this stupid underdog off? There we go. All right. Jets at Bills. Let's get Prop Beaver up, our resident Jet representative. Prop Beaver, just a lover of all things Jets.
I fucking hate this team.
Can I get a weather report in Orchard Park, please?
37, mostly cloudy.
All right, so 37, a little cold, not too bad. We still at even 7, or no? I saw 7.5.
It's at 8.5.
What?
Yeah, it's at 8.5, and the total's at 39 and 39.5.
It's at 8.5.
Yeah, consensus.
Yep.
I just saw that. Pretty
Wow.
damning.
I'm loving my Bills -7 ticket right about now, and I'll put mine up.
Jeez.
I went really into this one on YouTube, so I won't repeat everything I said, but on paper, the Bills should win this game by 20 points. The Jets can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball. The Jets can't stop the run. Despite what you may think of that defense, they can't stop the run. We're in the bottom half of the league against the run. They can defend the pass. Got to give that to the Jets. That secondary is awesome. Even the pass rush is starting to show up. But here's the thing. Even the pass defense isn't as good on the road. They're excellent at MetLife. On the road, we've seen quarterbacks have good days throwing the ball on the Jets. Russell Wilson had a good day throwing the ball on the Jets. Dak Prescott had a good day throwing the ball on the Jets. So this Jets pass defense, even though it's elite, hasn't been as good on the road. There's just the Bills are better here in every single department. And there's a revenge factor. The Jets beat them in the first game of the season. So also, it's not only a revenge factor for the Jets beating them earlier in the year, it's a revenge factor for what just happened. What was that, Monday night? When did the Bills lose to the Broncos? That was Monday night, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, you got the Bills coming off an embarrassing loss. I like the Bills in a blowout, honestly. Look, if you're betting the Jets, the only logical thing that makes sense here is you're betting on Josh Allen to turn the ball over multiple times, which was 100% possible. And I don't even hate the angle. You like Josh Allen to turn the ball over multiple times. There's certainly evidence to support it. But the thing is, I hate betting on turnovers. I hate betting on and having to count on turnovers, because if you're watching the football game and Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over, you're sitting there watching it going, what the hell? Why did I bet the Jets here? Like, they don't even belong on the same field as the Bills. And that's what I think we're going to see. I like the Bills to win by at least 14. Look, Josh Allen could go out, turn the ball over a couple times, and screw me again. I don't know. I hadn't been betting the Bills this year either. It's not like I've been on the Bills. I bet them last week for the first time. Actually, last week was the first time I bet the Bills since London. So I had faded them 4 straight weeks entering last week. But they're so due for a reminder, like, hey, we're still pretty good game. Like a, hey, we're still the Bills. Like, we're not completely disrespected game. This is the perfect spot for it. I'm on the Bills. Prop Beaver, are you backing your beloved Jets?
No, get the hell out of here, bro.
Come on,
Team's
believe in your
ass.
squad. Believe in your squad.
No, never will. Never will.
I'm putting your Jets up for you.
Why? I can't with the O-line with Zach Wilson. I really can't do it. I mean, it's not even all Zach Wilson's fault at this point. The O-line is so treacherous that I don't even know what I can really expect from him. The pressure just keeps getting worse in terms of the pressure allowed. The pressure for the Bills continues to rise. I'm taking the Bills. I should kill them. Boring Josh Allen throwing 3 interceptions, but you look at his last 2 home matchups against the Jets, 0 interceptions in those games. So I think he's going to be a lot more. Even if he throws just less than 2 interceptions against them, I think they cover the number. My favorite play for this game, though, and I like it especially because that line keeps moving up. Give me Breece Hall over 23.5 receiving yards. Got this on Friday at -110. Buffalo allowing 4th most yards per game, 6th most yards per reception, and 5th most receptions per game to running backs through the air. 8 of 10 starting running backs to face Buffalo have cashed their receiving yards over. His 3+ receptions is -225 on Bet365. Running backs with 3+ receptions against the Bills are 9-3 to over 23.5 yards this season. And Hull with 3+ receptions in his career, 5-3 to the over, averaging 38.5. On top of that, he's cashed his last 3 or 4 games. His role as a receiver is increasing dramatically with the amount of pressure that's coming on Zach Wilson. He's cashed his last 3 or 4, averaging 46.7 yards per game, 5.2 targets, and 4.5 receptions. The Bills are very zone heavy, and that's important because Hull against man coverage, horrible 1.6 yards per reception. whole against zone coverage, and elite 16 yards per reception over his last 4 games. Jets, as I said, allowing that pressure rate to increase. I think Hall's going to see a ton of usage with Wilson needing to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So, yep.
For someone who said it up here, someone was asking about NBA picks on the website last night. I haven't been posting NBA on weekends. Just this time of year, I'm really busy. I don't get a ton of sleep on the weekends. So NBA's been good to us, I know. And after Thanksgiving, I'll be posting NBA every day. It's just this time of year with college football, NFL, NBA, it's a lot. That's why they weren't posted last night. All right, let's bring on Andy. Are you taking the Jets here?
No, sir. No. I think at some point Buffalo's going to have to figure it out. I know they have a tough schedule coming up, so I think they'll take advantage of this game. The Jets should be a game they beat them up on. Like, they should beat them up. There's no question. So I think today's the day they kind of exercise some demons, maybe beat them by a couple touchdowns. Like, I don't think they're going to take it lightly today. The Jets are very banged up on the offensive line, so I think they'll be all over Wilson. Yeah, I don't see really any avenues where the Jets win this game. I don't think they keep it close. I think Buffalo gets ready for their tougher slate with this one.
Toast, are you taking the Jets?
No, I'm playing the under. I played under 40. It's at 39.5 now. Yeah, I'm just not there. Zach, I'm just not a Josh Allen guy. I don't really trust him that much. I feel like this Jets defense can keep them somewhat in control. Buffalo just fired their offensive coordinator on Tuesday. I'm not saying that that's going to change a ton, but that's not the best as far as game planning, not to mention the fact that the Bills have this team called the Philadelphia Eagles on deck. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I just don't know what to like, but at 40, I played under. I just don't see the Bills throttling this team. I just don't see it. So I don't want to lay any points with the Bills, but I don't want to have my money on the Jets. So I'll just play it. Both of these defenses, keep it tight. Under 40 for me, or 39.5.
All right. This one's pretty split. So I think the Bills are the public side and the Jets are the sharp side overall. But the line movement was weird in this one because there was money coming in on the Jets. It got bet down to 7. Now that it's 8.5, people are hammering this Bills team late. So 45% of our viewers laying the points with the Bills, 39% taking the points with the Jets. Sunday night football with, I know like people complain about primetime games and all that. But this might, as far as Sunday night football goes, we usually get a good one. This has got to be the worst Sunday night football game. We usually get a good one on Sunday night football. This is bad. Can I get
let me add to it. 50 degrees with a pretty high chance of showers.
Pretty high chance of showers. A little bit of rain. This line's still at an even 3.
No, I mean, there's some books that have it at 3. Some books have moved it down to 2.5, and even BetMGM you could get at 2. So pretty split.
Consensus total.
Again, all over the place. Some at 41.5, some at 42, some at 42.5, and that's annoying because I would have liked it to stay at the 40.5 to 41 it was at yesterday.
Well, I'm putting 42 in the poll.
Okay,
so I'll go first because I hate the game. I feel like my hands are tied here, and the move has to be Denver. But I'm just taking the under and calling it a day. I'm sure that we'll talk in the Discord. Usually everyone hops in the Discord right around 7:30 when the games end, and we try to do something, touchdown scores. So I'm sure I'll end up putting bets down in this game at that point. But as of right now, I'd lean Denver and under. That's where I go. I went through it on YouTube, and look, the thing with Dobbs is he's very, I don't want to say one-dimensional. I don't know if that's the right word. He's just very his game is simple almost. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it works. He comes out, he's good as hell at what he does, but what he does is it's so complex where now that they have seen for a couple games what Kevin O'Connell plans on doing with him, I think Vance Joseph is the type of guy to exploit it. It eventually got exploited in Arizona. The first few games was, Dobbs is awesome. He was pretty bad in his last few games at Arizona, and I think we start to see it here. I think Vance Joseph is the guy where I think this is the game where we all go, oh, yeah, Dobbs isn't a starter, unfortunately. We love him. We're rooting for him, but, yeah, maybe he's not a starter in this league. As far as the Denver offense against the Vikings defense, I don't have a ton of confidence, and that's why if this number's sitting at a full 3, at 2.5, I probably would take Denver, but I don't have a ton of faith in the Denver offense, especially against a Vikings pass defense that's been really good. You want to know how the Vikings have been winning so many games? They're defending the pass really well, which is not something we anticipated entering the season. The Vikings have a good pass defense, pretty solid against the run also. So Denver's offense has their hands full here. But overall, I think the best angle, my favorite angle here is I like the Broncos defense, which is suddenly awesome. Where the hell did that come from? The Broncos defense also getting Kareem Jackson back. He's been out. He's their safety. I think he's missed 2 or 3 games. He's back. So this Broncos defense, all of a sudden playing well, getting another piece back. I like the Denver defense to really shut down this Minnesota offense and probably cover, but I'll just take the under. Primetime unders, as we know, have been a cash cow. Thursday was the first one that lost in like what felt like forever. So just give me the under. Prop Beaver, let's hear yours. Let's hear your spiel.
This was tough. I wanted to find a way to fade Dobbs, but then, I mean, what they're going to ask from him to do is really simple. So I thought that he could actually somewhat move the ball against them through the air. And then the other thing that was kind of annoying me was that with Arizona, he was making tons of bad throws, tons of turnover-worthy plays. Kevin O'Connell is just asking him to do such simple tasks that he's not having many turnover-worthy plays as a Minnesota Viking. So that's tough. I really want to take the game under here, so that'll be my play for the screen. But I'm really not loving the fact that last night I went to go take this under at 40.5. It's now at 42.5.
No, but you went with these primetime unders, it hasn't mattered. There's been reverse line movement every single primetime game, and they still lose.
Right? Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that because, like, in terms of when we cap the game, I love the under. I mean, Broncos pass defense is surging right now. Josh Dobbs, as we said, we don't really love the guy. I mean, yeah, he could use his legs, but you saw what they did to Josh Allen last week. They kept him in the pocket, and he really wasn't effective at all at home, where he normally is quite effective. And then on top of that, I mean, the one thing that stood out to me when we were capping this game in terms of the Broncos offense against the Vikings defense, Russell Wilson's like the worst quarterback in the NFL against the blitz. And Brian Flores blitzes at a near 50% clip. He'll blitz at 80% if he knows that he can throw Russell Wilson off his game. So it's just like, it's tough. I don't think that either team's really going to be able to put up points. I wish that I didn't have this ingrained in my head, reverse line movement bad. But like, I don't know. I feel like the under is totally the move here.
Books have been getting cleaned out with that line movement on the total in these primetime games. Like, there's been a couple times that London game. Who was that? It was Colts Patriots. They were jacking the line up. Everyone was taking the under. The books were jacking that line up, which told me over. Me and Toast talked about it on the phone. We're like, we got to take the over.
I don't want to talk about it.
Final score is 10-7. Wasn't even close.
Oh my God.
Wasn't even close.
It's so stupid, man. The books are getting cooked these days. I don't know what happened to them. They fell off.
They did fall off. All right, Andrew, what's your move here?
I'm actually going to pick a side, and I'm going to be on the side that you guys kind of hinted to. I'm on Denver. Eventually, shit hits the fan with Josh Dobbs. It happened in Arizona, and I think this is the game where it happens here. He's going to have their scheme. They're going to scheme him perfectly. Vance Joseph is going to be all over him. This is a good, like you said, good pass defense. Pretty much since that Thursday night game against the Chiefs, I've really liked this pass defense. So yeah, I really like Denver today. The under's good too. Like, I don't expect much scoring in this game anyway either. So I'm with you guys on both of them.
All right. Looks like we're all kind of on the same page.
I was just going to say, to Andy's point about that Denver defense, since week 6, Denver is 10th in EPA per play as far as the defense. In weeks 1 through 5, they were worst in the league at 32nd in the league. So that's one thing. I'm on Dobbs over 228 passing yards. I still don't trust this Denver secondary.
228. It's at 218.5 right now.
He's alt line.
Yeah, it's falling, dude.
I typed it in wrong. I just typed it in wrong. I don't care. 218.5. I'm still going over. You guys tried to talk me off Stroud a couple weeks ago. Didn't work, Beaver. It's not working this week.
I rode with you, Dick Falk.
Yo, they did. You did. But yeah, KJ Osborne, maybe Justin Jefferson back this week. He's going over. Yeah, I will keep on fading this Denver secondary until I die.
All right. Let's do the community. I have a feeling the community teaser's hitting this week, by the way. Just have this feeling. 51% on the Vikings, by the way. Vikings +3 is the public side. All right. Community teaser.
I sent you an underdog, by the way.
You sent me an underdog? You know what? Let's do the underdog first. Prop Beaver sent it in. He used to be good at it. He kind of sucks now.
I have one bad week.
That's all it takes, dude. If you're not paying attention to this industry.
I know it's so stupid too, because if I looked at the long-term picture, like the last month for me has been great. I'm up around like 20 units.
Doesn't matter.
But, like, because of that bad last week, I'm so pissed at myself about it. It hangs over me.
All right, so here you go. You have the floor, Prop Beaver.
Yeah, so, I mean, pretty much everything that we encapsulated today. Love the Tajir Spears play, especially because of the VIG. We're getting a nice discount there. Bryce Young over the 10.5. Jared Goff, I like the fantasy points because not only is he going to put up the touchdowns, I believe, but he's going to move the ball through the air. He's way more efficient at home moving the ball. Kenneth Walker, we're getting an extra yard on, so I like that. And then Breece Hall, 23.5 is just a great line. I mean, with the line moving up for the Bills, that tells me that the Jets are going to be behind most of this game. And simply put, Zach Wilson, my God, he's going to have to target our brother Breece Hall. So, yeah, that's what I like for today. 5-piece McNugget.
If you don't have an Underdog account, it's available in any state highlighted in this map. So if you're in one of these states, head over to the website, or you can download the app, Underdog Fantasy. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus match. So you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100. All right, community teaser, and then let's go watch some football and have some fun. Here was last week's Ravens money line. Well, lost right there because the Browns lost. I mean, the Ravens lost. So, Toast, just in case I forgot who they pick, you have them written down, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Beaver, did you see that Aaron Nola signed with the Phillies?
Yeah, wow. Congratulations to them. That's a great signing.
Typical Phillies to hate on a guy all year and then celebrate him signing.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, Sean wrote fire emojis in my little group chat.
What
I'm about to shit on that
That's
kid.
insane.
7 years.
I know. Just wait. I'm going to shit on him.
Chargers at Packers. Who won that one? Oh, Chargers. Chargers did. Chargers +3. Giants at Commanders. It was Commanders. So Commanders -3. Raiders at Dolphins. Definitely Dolphins. Dolphins -8. There we go. First leg of the teaser. Toast, any college basketball to throw out there while we're waiting?
Yeah, I can pull up my screen really
I
quick.
can't make fun of Sean about the Nola thing because apparently the Mets met with Luis Severino. So
Yeah, that's
that's
No,
rough on him.
I don't have a problem with them signing. He shits on Aaron Nola every chance he can
I know.
possibly get. And
All season,
so yeah.
he was hating on the
college
guy.
basketball. I know. Trust me. I know. Drake, they've already all started. Northern Kentucky +13.5. It's at 12.5 now. Tennessee Tech +14.5. It's at 12.5 now.
Northern Kentucky and Tennessee
Michigan
Tech.
State.
Deep cuts.
It's
Deep
good
cuts.
two elite programs.
No, I do what I do, man. Michigan State should blow them out. If you want to lay 24 with Michigan State, that's probably good.
Jaguars
Did
money
you have
line.
anything in this Georgia game? Did you have any? I didn't look at your ticket yet. You didn't have anything?
Whoever Georgia's playing, I took the other
Okay.
team. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, he's just hating on you.
I know. I have it on right now. It's been a back and forth game so far. So
Texans
I
money
just-
line. Bears at Lions. They took Lions -2. Steelers at Browns. They took Steelers.
Back and forth means that
it's 12-11. Yeah.
Cowboys at Panthers.
They're
They
losing.
took Cowboys. So it'll be Cowboys -5. All right, second leg of the
okay. I had
teaser.
Furman. And they're getting throttled.
Yeah.
Tennessee Tech and Northern Kentucky. Like that sounds like names I would make up trolling somebody. Like whatever happened to the Pepperdines of the world?
They just don't play today. They played last night.
Did they win?
Can't remember.
That's St.
Probably
Mary's
not.
only threat in that conference is Pepperdine.
Oh, Gonzaga exists.
Gonzaga.
said
Santa
that on
Barbara.
purpose here.
Don't sleep on UC.
Lions -2 is the second leg. So Jags money line. Lions -2.
When's the last time St. Mary's won a basketball game? Just trying to figure that out.
When's the
Wasn't
last time?
Friday.
When's the last
Gales don't
time
even know
any
ball.
team
Wasn't
won a?
Friday. That's for sure.
When's the last time any college team won a meaningful basketball game? Because we've seen zero.
I don't know.
Oh, I would disagree with that.
Yeah, there's
honestly,
some
but yeah,
there's
go
some
ahead.
meaningful games right now. Maybe not for your.
You're right. Northern
Indiana's
Kentucky's
wild.
sick.
Just wait till tomorrow. Gonzaga,
yeah.
Purdue, all that good stuff, baby.
Yeah, the Maui starts tomorrow. Be good.
Yeah, and a bunch of games that no one cares about. Doesn't matter. Gonzaga can start the season 0-6. It doesn't even mean anything.
Fair.
That's false.
That's true. Wouldn't mean a thing. Wouldn't mean a damn thing.
Gonzaga lost their first 6 games. They probably wouldn't make the tournament.
They
and
would make the tournament
everybody
still.
would say- They would say, "I told you so. They're bad. They can't win when it matters."
Okay.
Who was that? Who was that impression?
Every person on the internet that has a problem with Gonzaga basketball.
Dude, no team gets toast pissed off like Gonzaga. Like he'll go at people on Twitter. I've seen it.
Because they're fools. That's why.
Because they're fools.
They're fools.
So Dolphins -8 was second. Texans money line second. Bills -2.5. So Dolphins -8. Last leg is Dolphins -8. Texans money line. Bills -2.5. All right, people. What's our last leg? Finish off this teaser. I'm not hating on small market bets. On college basketball, they get too small. They get too small. Bro, we had the game on in the office. Me, Andy, and AJ. We were watching Charleston versus Vermont. I swear, it was like I've seen better games at the LA Fitness down the road.
Dude, you sit there and watch
pitiful.
football. Shut up.
We were laughing out loud. We were like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Punt.
No.
Fumble. Punt.
No, there was a
punt,
sequence
That's good
where I
defense.
was
That's
nearly
better.
pissing my pants.
There was a sequence where nobody hit a shot. Nobody hit a 3-pointer, and they just kept chucking up 3-pointers for like a good 5 minutes. And I didn't realize Charleston's actually
Of
having
the
a
NBA. You
historic-
just described the NBA.
No.
Yeah.
Wrong.
The NBA shoot like
Grizzlies
40%
basketball.
from three.
Really?
Dolphins
You're
You're
-8.
talking about the Klay Thompson game. Oh, okay.
You're right. Charleston and the NBA are pretty comparable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Community teaser.
They are,
Jags.
actually. The way that they play basketball, yeah, they are.
Jags money
3
line.
balls and no defense.
Lions -2. 49ers -7.5. Dolphins -8. This is Cash It today. We're hitting this as a community. Everyone, thanks as always for watching. Let's have ourselves a great Sunday. Let's follow up on yesterday. Had a great college football yesterday. Let's follow it up with a great NFL Sunday. Remember to bet responsibly. And yeah, I'll be active in the Discord all day, but I'll really be on there around 7:30 to figure out what we're doing for Sunday night. So everyone have a good one. Talk to you later.